You got to
Thank
move
you.
yourself to the music the moment you
Listen
want
to the
it.
man.
Does a level go.
I'd like to welcome you to the press conference for the School of Rock. Paramount Pictures will be releasing this picture across North America October 3rd. I hope everyone did their homework and has seen the film. But for those of you who haven't, it is a charming and hilarious and righteously rocking comedy written by Mike White, starring Jack Black, and the folks you see here. And basically it's about the ultimate class project. Jack Black's character, Dewey, instructs a group of musicians in a fifth grade class to become a rock band, and they work towards a Battle of the Bands competition. I'd like to just introduce everyone briefly. To my left, Jack Black, whom some of you may know is the lead singer in the outrageously talented duo Tenacious D. His first film role was in Tim Robbins' Bob Roberts, and he's been in dozens of films and television shows. I think his breakthrough performance was in the rock and roll movie High Fidelity. He also starred in, based on Nick Hornby's book, he also starred in the Farrelly Brothers comedy Shallow Hal, and was recently seen in Orange County, which was written by Mike White. To his left is Mike. To his left is Mike White, who plays the real Ned Schneebly. Mike wrote and starred in what I think is one of the best movies of 2000, Chuck and Buck. And last year, he was responsible for two acclaimed films, The Good Girl, which starred Jennifer Aniston, and Orange County. Joan Cusack plays Principal Mullins. She made her film debut as a teenager in My Bodyguard. Among dozens of memorable screen performances are her roles in Broadcast News, Working Girl, for which she received an Academy Award nomination. Is that right? Did I recall that correctly? She also received her second for In and Out, and she has played the voice of Jessie on Toy Story 2 and has appeared in films such as Cradle Will Rock, High Fidelity. Sarah Silverman is sitting beside her.
She was really,
anything else?
She was really hot in that Addams Family Values.
Oh yeah, right. Sarah Silverman, writer and performer on Saturday Night Live, a fantastic stand-up comic. She's appeared in numerous films and TV shows such as The Larry Sanders Show. I love that. Love that role. And I was hoping that the kids, if you could introduce yourself, say your name and your character in the film.
I'm Joey Gatiss Jr., and I play Zach in the film, the lead guitarist.
Yeah. I'm Miranda Cosgrove in the movie, and I play band manager, Summer Hathaway.
I'm Kevin Clark, and I play Freddie, the drummer, in the movie.
I'm Rebecca Brown. I play Katie in the film, bass guitarist.
I'm Robert Ty, and I play Lawrence in the movie. I'm the keyboardist.
All right. Before I open it up, I just wanted to start off by asking Mike a question about how you developed the story. I understand that you and Jack were at one point neighbors. Is that correct?
That's true, yes.
And that you created this role based on your friendship with him. Can you tell me why you chose this particular setting?
I thought of Jack rocking out with kids would make a lot of money. No, I thought it would be. I don't know. I just had an idea of Jack rocking out with kids, and I don't know. It just stuck with me, and so I just tried to move on, but I couldn't, and so I just kept writing it.
Did you show Jack the script, talk to him about elements?
I told him I threatened him and told him I was writing it, but and then I just wrote it, and then I prayed that he would respond to the material, and I guess he did. right?
The director, Richard Linklater, isn't here today, but I want. Could you tell me when it?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where is he?
He is diarrhea.
Oh, okay. That explains it. When did he first see the film? When did you first connect with Richard? When did he first see the film? It can't fall apart yet, guys.
I'm sorry. When did he? We'd written it and we talked. Scott Rudin and Jack and myself. We were talking about different potential directors, and we were Richard. Obviously, we're all fans, and we were afraid that in the wrong hands, this movie could turn out really terrible or cheesy or whatever.
School of cheese.
Yeah,
it could
exactly.
have been.
So Richard's approach to the material was we were hoping to do a movie that would appeal to families and kids and all of that, but not necessarily do just something that we wouldn't want to see ourselves. And so Richard's obviously had the same attitude, and so I think he was the perfect person for it.
I want to open it up to questions. Yes, the woman sitting. Wait for the microphone.
Hi, it's Angela from Canadian Press. Jack, I wanted to ask, I heard you had to jump through a few hoops to get the immigrant song used in the movie, and if you could just maybe tell us about that.
Yeah, Rick Linklater had trouble getting. He wanted to get Dazed and Confused, the Led Zeppelin song, for his movie of the same name. And he couldn't do it. He was unable to get the rights to the song. Apparently Led Zeppelin, it's really hard to get their music in movies. So he hatched this plan. When we were shooting the big concert scene at the end of the movie, he was like, maybe we should just turn on the cameras and you should beg Led Zeppelin to use their song while you've got these thousands of extras behind you, and they can be like an angry mob. And I said, all right, and we did. I just sort of improvised a groveling, begging at the feet of the altar of Zeppelin, and I had the audience chant, ridiculous things, and then it worked. They gave us the song. They let us pay them hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Behind, yes.
Hello, Jack. Rudy Blair, 680 News.
How's it going?
Good. How about yourself, man? You look good today.
Really? What? Looking what?
You're looking good.
Good.
You're looking good.
I
with
thought
the
you were
tie.
going to say you're looking tired.
No.
I hate it when people say, you look tired.
No, man, you look good today.
Thanks, man.
The fact that you get a chance, I think this is the most we've got a chance to hear you sing. And having a chance to combine your singing with acting in a comedy, what's that like to get to do what you do well?
It feels like it's all I do is rock and comedy. But that's right where I live. It's in my kitchen, is the rock and the comedy mixing together. Like, who got their rock in my comedy? Who got their comedy in my rock? Wait a second, these things taste delicious together.
Yes. Can you grab the microphone, please?
Hi. This is, what can I say? Your movie was fantastic. Yes, it's going to make a lot of money, and it's going to make a lot of people happy. This question is for Jack Black. I'd seen you in comedy, but I didn't know you were such a talented performer musically. And you're so handsome today. He doesn't just look good, he looks handsome. My question for you is, do you realize that these kids here, like, that whole concept is totally amazing. It's just, you're all so good. All I can say is...
What's the question?
I don't know. All I can say is, yeah.
I'll pretend that was a question. I'll run with that.
Talk about the kids, Jack.
Well, the thing about it is that what's funny about me and the kids, me teaching and guiding and taking the kids to a higher plane of knowledge, is that it's just wrong. And that's that's what's funny about it, is that it's wrong. And that's what I think a lot of humor is, just how wrong things are. And Mike is this Mike over here is a genius. He's gonna pretend like he's not today. He's gonna blush when I say some things. But when he called me on the phone and said, "Hey man, I wrote something for you," might as well have been the Coen Brothers. That's how stoked I was. I did a little dance. and I shat my pants. And I've never been so stoked. And I didn't believe he was going to do it. I thought, oh, this is one of those things where they say something. And then, by God, 3 months later, he cranked out a masterpiece right out of his butt. Thank you.
Another question?
I hope that answers your question.
Mohit Rajan, Zombie Television. I was wondering what the younger thespians taught some of the veterans in this filmmaking process.
Wait, who was the question directed to?
What you learned from the younger actors in this?
Is it to me?
To
anyone? To anyone, any of the older people?
The elder ones, yes.
I learned that duty is funny, and pee-pee, and that diarrhea is funny in its place when it's not an interruption.
I'm going to answer that, and I'm actually thinking of an answer while I'm talking right now. What did I learn from the kids? I learned that you're never too young to rock. You're never too young to be awesome. And you're never too old to be young. That's some heavy shit I just laid down on you.
It's true.
Next question.
Question for Jack and then to the kids. Jack, I'm Mark Wigmore, CFRB Radio, by the way. And who is your favorite rock act at this point? And then to the kids, how fun was it working with somebody so funny, including the rest of the great cast? So I'll start with Jack.
My favorite rock act is probably Queens of the Stone Age, just for songwriting. Live performance, I'd probably go with those guys, Supergrass. They put on a really excellent live show.
Jack was great to work with.
Yeah. He was always, cracking
Hilarious.
jokes and stuff, but it was hard to keep a straight face most of the time,
When there was
shooting.
when there was a camera near him, he just went wild.
And when there wasn't, he'd play the sticks game with the kids.
He'd still go wild.
Yeah.
He never let us stop laughing.
Yeah.
And he was funny in a very special way. His comedy was always fresh and exciting, so that you could laugh every time differently. You could laugh at this and this, and so.
Guy with the
Working with Sarah was the greatest, also.
Yeah, she's cool.
Above and beyond beautiful.
Next question.
Yeah, you guys cool? You don't need a moment? You're all good? Okay. I just got to say that this movie rocked the private school knee-high socks off me. It was all good, man. Question is, you say you don't take the responsibility, but I think you guys actually have a very strong pedagogical responsibility here. You are educating kids on rock. And I want you, you mentioned a couple albums, The Writer, The Star. What albums do you think these kids haven't listened to yet that they should be listening to?
I'm not one to get up on my high horse and tell people what to listen to. Because, when you tell people what to listen to, then you're kind of putting your flag in it and saying, I discovered this, in fact, fantastic band. You should now listen to it, and after, thank me for discovering it. I don't know. I like the bands. I think more than teaching kids to rock, we're just trying to make something funny, because I haven't seen a really funny kids movie in about, 20 years. I think they've all gone down the toilet, and it's because of the censorship. Everyone's so scared. Everyone tiptoes around the kids nowadays, and it was time to bust it out with full artillery, 5 guns a blazing. I hope that answers your question.
Can you pass that?
Hey guys, Anton Sirius from Ain't It Cool News. How you doing? This is a two-part question. First part's for Jack and Joan and Sarah. Jack, this is really the first big role you've had where you didn't score any chicks. What's going on, man? And Joan and Sarah, how tough was it for you guys to keep your hands off Jack?
For me, it was hard because, I'm sorry. You had the first part,
Go ahead.
right?
No, it's all you take the first.
No, it's okay. I've got it in here.
Okay. I was just going to say that I was actually really pushing hard for a romantic love interest between me and Joan. And there actually was a makeout scene that was cut out of the film, unfortunately. Because apparently, I don't know why. It didn't it didn't work, like, it didn't go anywhere. There was no, like, ending, and then it was really distracting or something. But hopefully it'll be on the DVD, because it was actually one of my favorite scenes.
And the second part, Sarah?
Because it was funny.
First of all, if I
Not
may
just-
add to that, I know I'm not, but like, I think that it was really cowardly to cut out the kiss between Jack and Joan, and I think that it's racism, and people just they're not ready to see a black and white kiss, and I think that's sad in 2003. Another thing is, the other part was it hard to keep your hands off Jack and whatever. I was gonna say it was because I'm a chubby chaser. But it's harder now because look how
You are a
skinny.
chubby chaser for real.
I know. Well, I am a chubby chaser for real, but also, if I may say one more thing, and I know that I'm a really small part of the movie to be talking this much, but you know what Jack was saying about music, and he doesn't want to say what kind of music, and I think there's a part of him that's not ashamed, definitely not ashamed, but he rocks. Everyone knows he rocks. Not everyone knows that he loves Seal. Jack loves Seal.
It's true. You got me. There's so much a man can tell you, so much he can say. You remain my power, my pleasure, my pain. To me, you're like a
Joan, do you want to answer the second part of the question?
Yes, I think we did have, there was a lot to do in the film because the whole kid band thing was complex. The whole story was complex, making it real. And so we did have fun working together, and I think Jack's a great leading man. So,
Yeah. Yeah, you had a question in the front there.
Nicholas Bilios, Edmonton Senior. My question is for Mike. This is a really wonderful film for families, for adults, for kids. And generally, you usually pitch to one level, but you pitched it to all, and you've done it a marvelous job. Wasn't there a temptation to hit one audience, or even to bring in some off-color language here and there? How did you achieve this?
Well, I mean, I've done it ways where, we knew because the kids, we just had to get a PG-13 rating. So we, instead of I've had this experience where your favorite scenes get cut because they're too racy for the rating. So we tried to be pretty conscientious about, not ending up in that situation and not going there. So, but I don't think anything was lost by doing it. It just made us more crafty.
You ended up with a wonderful film.
Oh, thanks so much.
I'd like to ask the kids actually about. I understand that you attended a rock and roll boot camp before you started shooting. Could you guys tell us a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, well, the studio, we rehearsed a lot in Sonic Youth studio with Jim O'Rourke, who's the producer and lead guitarist. Is that right? Yeah. And it was fun being in the studio and working with these guys because we're all real musicians, and we had real conflicts and different.
And
things going on.
you know, I was really into rock music, you know, before this thing. When I was, 5, I was listening to Zeppelin and Kiss and all that. And I just loved that, and the fact that I got to play my guitar in the movie I really like that.
The Flying V, that's your guitar?
Oh, well, I'm not my guitar,
Oh,
but
I see.
a guitar, yeah.
What kind of guitar do you play?
I've got a few now, but
Good salary, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you had more to say.
Yeah, I've got an Gibson SG that I play all the time, and won't go into details. You just go off and do guitar things, but they'll probably bore you. But so never mind.
No, go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's got a P90 in it. No, Gibson. Definitely. Duncan's. Seymour Duncan's.
Rebecca, go ahead.
Sorry.
I was sort of like my character because before we're all of the kids in the classroom are classically trained prodigies, and Jack specifically notices him, me, him, and Joey over here. We played our instruments: timpani, guitar, cello. Well, anyways, before I did this film, I was more of a classical person. I started off with classical music. I've been playing classical since I was 4. So I was kind of similar to my character.
And now you rock.
Yeah, exactly.
And Robert?
In the Sonic Youth Studios, I learned much about rock and roll. And also, Jim O'Rourke really worked hard to make a good band out of us. Perhaps he was most contributing to this because he was the first. And then he taught us a few songs, and including Sweet Jean, School of Rock, correct? It's a Long Way to the Top. And of course, you have I'm a Wheel, which is wonderful. Anyway.
A song that wasn't used in the movie, but...
Which is...
You can buy Jim Rourke's albums. He's also in Sonic Youth. Did he teach you any Sonic Youth songs?
No.
Oh.
No, not really.
Yes, you've got another question? Actually,
I apologize. I was so overwhelmed by your movie that I couldn't even remember the question. You're going to bring a lot of joy to people. Jack Black, this question is for you. You've shown that you can do comedy, and I didn't know you were such a fine musician. Have you thought of doing some drama in the near future? What's your next project, part 2?
My next project's going to be the Tenacious D movie. It'll be called Tenacious D in the Pick of Destiny. I can't really tell you anything about it. But I feel like I should say something. Since our director's not here, it's not because he has diarrhea. I think he's actually
That's just what I was told.
That's what you were told. You were given some bogus information. He may have diarrhea, but I think he's in France shooting a movie. Because that's what the man does. He's a man possessed. He's always working. And I just have to say, if it wasn't for him, I probably, believe it or not, I would have been. I know it seemed like a pretty broad performance. I'm pretty over the top. But if it wasn't for him, I would have been on Mars, way that far over the top. He really actually kept me as real as possible. You know, he would always, sometimes he would say, I don't know if I really believe that. I mean, do you really think he would do that? And he just sort of kept me in check, and I thank him for that, because he really, kept the whole thing in focus and believable as possible.
Great. I could just suit.
Thank you,
Sarah. You have something?
Well, I just wanted to add. I think we're both right in a way, because I think no, because I heard you're right. I think he's in France having diarrhea in his pants.
Oh, that's why.
Sorry.
Yes, you have another question.
Hi, Rudy Blair again from 680 News. This question actually goes to Mike, if you can take a breath there for a second, Mike. Brett.
Sorry.
There we go. How did you guys go about choosing the band?
Oh, that was really Rick. He really wanted. I mean, and it was the smartest decision he made. Really was. He really wanted to get musicians, so it wasn't, the Partridge Family ending where everybody's, air guitaring to a pre-recorded track, and he was determined to find kids that could really play, and I think it was great to have that aspect, and also just, we ended up getting really, talented, naturalistic actors who weren't sort of, haven't been through the Hollywood mill to, the sort of Cupid doll problems that sometimes, you get kids who populate these kinds of movies. So hats off to Rick and hats off to the kids.
What about that musical number at the end? The number at the end when the credits start to roll, was that looked live to me. Was that live?
Yeah, that was live.
That was great.
I mean, pretty much all the music that we play in the movie is live when we're in the classroom, and that shot at the end. The only one that wasn't live was when we're playing at the Battle of the Bands at the end. That was too complex. There were too many different scenes. That was pre-recorded and we played along with it. But yeah, like I said, he picked real musicians so that it would add an authenticity to it, and that kind of stuff really matters in the end. It makes a big difference when you can really tell when people are really playing, and these kids can shred it up with the best of them.
Dude.
That actually leads into my question, because it's for the kids that were in the band. You talked about going through the boot camp with Jim O'Rourke. You're actors first, obviously, but have you thought about forming a band after this movie and keeping going with it? And Rebecca, you were talking about being like your character and sort of learning the bass for the first time. You're a born bassist. The people I was sitting with in the movie, the moment you appeared on screen, she's the bassist. She's going to be the bassist in the band. It was a given. But have you thought about forming a band?
Well, actually, we were actually musicians first.
Yeah.
All of the musicians, and then we didn't really have any acting lessons either. But and also to the band thing, I did have a band. I'm in between bands right now, but I know that a few of us have bands. And
Yeah, I was in a band, but then some of the members got mad because somebody went to New York to shoot a movie. So
I hate when that happens.
Any of the others? Other of you think about moving from classical to rock and roll?
I kind of have.
Well, you play the manager, right?
Yes, but I've played piano before and stuff like that. But after this, I kind of really got into rock and roll, and I think it's really cool.
Did you learn anything about rock and roll managers? Did you go to rock and roll manager boot camp? Did you study the ways of those managers?
Well, not really. I learned a little bit about David Geffen.
Anything you want to share?
Not really. I just read a little bit of the back of the book I was holding in the movie.
You got another question?
This question is for everybody on the panel. How do you like the Toronto International Film Festival, and how are we treating you? And especially the kids, I want you to give really in-depth answers. All of you, please.
I just got here late last night. I haven't really had time to soak up the culture. But when I looked out the window of my hotel room, I could tell that it was a beautiful city with a lot of trees mixed in with the buildings, which I like. I could imagine myself living here. And I also saw a building that had an interesting architecture. It went like this. It was pretty rad.
Anybody else have anything to say about the Toronto Festival? We should really keep our questions to the film, I think. But
yeah,
does anyone?
Everyone's real nice.
Very what am I saying? European style. Yeah, it looks very European. Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
Hi, Angela from Canadian Press. Jack, I'm wondering, in the movie, there's one scene where you ask the kids what they're listening to, and they respond Christina Aguilera and Puff Daddy. Do you hope kids maybe walk away from the film wanting to learn about rock and roll instead of sort of pop music or whatever's on the radio?
I'm not really a fascist like that. You know, anyone can listen to whatever they want. You know, if it gets you going, then that's cool. But yeah, I think everyone should be open to all kinds of music. I don't think anyone should just be all about rock either. You know, there's plenty of. I learned some stuff about classical music from Robert. I was grilling him on the history of classical composers. Yeah. Yeah.
Another question?
Hi. Yeah, Jack, you keep avoiding the question. Well, it's okay. We know you're not a fascist, but let's try it the other way. What school do you in rock? And if the kids also want to answer, what do you guys go home and listen to? If you're going to rock out, if you're going to listen to something, I want to know what you guys listen to. And I want to know what makes you happy, Jack. And for that matter, Joan, you're a big musical person. Everybody, answer the question. Feel free.
Music.
I'm not sure what.
The question is,
what schooled me in rock?
What
What makes me happy?
No, man. What taught you how to be the rocking guy you are? What album specifically made you rock?
You know, there's a long list of albums. It started off with ABBA. I heard them on the radio. Take a Chance on Me. And then later I got hooked on Styx, The Grand Illusion. And then I went to the record store to buy the new Journey album. And that's when some dude was there and he said, "Don't get that record, man. Get this." And he handed me The Blizzard of Oz by Ozzy Osbourne. And that opened my universe to a whole world of heavy metal, changed my life. Probably the most profound thing anyone's ever done for me was to hand me that Ozzy Osbourne album. Now, a lot of people think I'm joking when I say how much I love heavy metal. It's not a joke. I know it's ridiculous, but I've gotten much joy. So there I am, out of the closet, completely naked before you. Heavy metal forever. Are you happy?
I'm not happy because I was expecting Meat Loaf and Jesus Christ Superstar, and I didn't hear those.
Well, then you're just very particular. It has to be one of those, or you wouldn't be happy.
Can we find
I
out?
may look like Meat Loaf. No, I really like that song when what is that thing? Let me sleep on it, baby, let me sleep on it. Let me sleep on it. Are you happy? There was a time for a second there I was going to be Meat Loaf in the Meat Loaf story. I don't know what happened to that.
I'd like to hear what music makes the other panelists rock. Mike?
Well, I was a child of a very conservative minister, so Jesus Christ Superstar really was the extent of my musical knowledge, and Godspell. But so yeah, MTV was my first exposure to the world of rock. So when I think of a rock band, I think Duran Duran. Sorry.
Joe?
I'm kind of in the have two small kids world, so I kind of got Raffi going and Barney, and there are a couple of cute sugar beat albums that are remakes of kids songs that are you can kind of dance around and play freeze dance with. That's kind of my world right now.
Sarah?
I like the Solipsistics and the Magnetic Fields and Alex Chilton and Nancy Griffith and the Pretenders and the High Fidelity soundtrack I listen to all the time.
That's a good one.
That's a good mix.
Yeah, very good.
Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, The Who, Kiss, Aerosmith, Black Sabbath. Thankfully, they were around. Basically, everybody that happened before I was born. Yeah.
Rolling Stones, Beatles, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm a diehard Metallica fan. That's just me. But and also I love Led Zeppelin and I like Green Day and Foo Fighters and
Tenacious D.
Yeah. There you go.
Finally.
Rebecca?
I'm really into the Rolling Stones and the Beatles, and I've gotten to AC/DC stuff, and basically that's about it. So yeah.
Well, for me, it's the School of Rock. There are many people who helped us, like in Sonic Studios in New York, a few weeks ago in Los Angeles. People who helped us and taught us some things of rock and roll and made us cooperate. And I feel, though I don't listen to a lot of music, to know about rock music a little bit is very good for me, because on the television, when I hear this tune, I say, oh, I knew that Joey played it, and Rebecca chimed along, and of course the drums is always very obvious. And in the movie, there was one scene where the people are unloading some instrument, and it's played a da da dee da da dum ba bum ba da da dum, and I recognized that right away. So this movie gave me an appreciation for rock.
Use the word
Lincoln
jammed.
Center. Did you
very
know that? He's
thankful.
played Lincoln Center, so he rocks in a different way.
Thank you.
Joan, I thought you kind of like that Elliott Smith I forced you to listen
Yeah,
to.
that is very good.
Okay, good.
That's really good.
Okay, it's not just all Rafi and Sugar Plum Fairies.
No, you're right.
Good,
You're right.
good.
No.
And actually, you really steered the direction in the song that we played in the bar that time. You had a strong opinion
That's
that it
right.
should be the Stevie Nicks, so we know you've got a soft spot for Stevie. And I was thinking while Robert was giving his answer, that kind of roundabout answer to the question, I was thinking, there's rock in all kinds of music. Like, I think Vivaldi, when I was in chorus learning the song Gloria, there's elements of rock in there. You know what I mean?
Like what?
Gloria, 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 Gloria. There's the intensity.
And then there's the
there's some
background.
Wagner that really is obviously influenced.
Passion? Are you talking about passion?
The passion. The passion of rock exists in many places.
Play Bach in there.
Bach? Yeah, that's right. In my band, we play a little Bach, break off a little Bach. Fits right into the rock block of Bach.
Dude, you got another question?
Just a quick one for the whole panel. If you could send one person to the School of Rock, who would it be?
Who needs to be schooled in rock? I don't know. I guess it should be someone lame who doesn't rock at all.
I think we have someone else's answer.
But really, this in the School of Rock, he starts out an outsider, and then he wounds up being a contributing member of society. So it would have to be somebody who really hasn't used their potential it has a lot of potential, but hasn't brought it into the mainstream to use it the most effectively. But he's kind of the mainstream.
Yeah. No, it should be that.
It's a tough question.
Yeah.
We have an easier question out there?
It's a very difficult question.
Do you have an easier question?
Yes. This one is for Ms. Cusack, Joan. You're very good at comedy. Are you going to do any drama in the near future? And what's your next project, please?
I have done a little drama in the past, and I just did another film that has some comedy and drama in it also, and I'm going to try to see if I can do another television show that I could do from Chicago, because because I live there, and it's a good live-work situation if you have a family. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of.
Thanks very much. Thank you, everyone, for coming. The press conference is now over.